What if the reality you are experiencing right now is not the reality that everyone else is experiencing, and you are feeling it because you are meant to? Many are beginning to notice what can only be described as timeline shifts, a strange sensation that the world around you, or perhaps even your own past, is subtly changing. Have you had the peculiar experience of déjà vu so intense that it felt like you were reliving a slightly altered moment? Or perhaps you've encountered the Mandela effect, that eerie feeling when a collective memory, like the spelling of the Berenstain Bears, seems to have inexplicably changed. Maybe it's just a subtle sense that things aren't quite as they should be, like a glitch in the matrix, a feeling that something is profoundly off. It's not that you are losing your mind, but could it be that you are one of the chosen ones, not in some literal, divinely selected sense, but rather someone with a heightened sense of awareness, uniquely sensitive to the subtle dance of reality and the shifting tides of consciousness? These are not random occurrences. They are deeply interconnected with the very fabric of consciousness itself. The significance of these timeline shifts extends far beyond a curious phenomenon. It's a doorway into understanding the fundamental nature of reality, your own identity, and the true power you possess to shape your experience. If this is truly the case, and your senses are registering these fluctuations, then it changes everything you thought you knew about the world, how it works, and how you work within it. This isn't just about small changes. This knowledge reveals the potential for a complete transformation of reality as we know it. You are not a powerless passenger helplessly floating down the stream of life. You are the active driver of your own unique and personal experience. The stakes are high, as failing to grasp the essence of these shifts leaves you a victim of circumstances, while understanding the hidden mechanics allows you to fully step into your power and truly create. This isn't merely about remembering the past a certain way, but about understanding how you have the capacity to reshape your future. The fundamental principle here is that reality, as you experience it, is not a fixed, external entity, but rather a construct of your own consciousness. Think of it like a dream. While you're in it, it feels completely real, doesn't it? But the very nature of the dream, its landscape, characters, and events, shifts and changes according to your expectations, your emotions, and your deepest beliefs. Similarly, your waking reality, the world you navigate every day, is also a projection of your internal state. And just as you can learn to lucid dream and consciously influence your dreamscapes, so too can you learn to consciously influence your waking reality. Furthermore, this isn't a single, linear timeline, but rather a multitude of branching possibilities, all existing simultaneously. Instead of seeing your life as a line progressing from past to present to future, envision a vast tree with infinite branches, each one a potential life path, each one a potential reality, all existing at the same time. Your present moment is constantly choosing which one of those probabilities to experience. Now, if timelines are truly shifting, what is the underlying cause? Is it individual consciousness, our personal choices, that influence which branch we move to next? Or is it the collective consciousness of humanity shifting and weaving reality itself? Are you just a witness to these shifts, or are you also actively contributing to them, consciously or unconsciously? This is not just a modern-day idea. Many ancient spiritual teachings whisper of a reality far more fluid than we've been led to believe, a reality constantly being shaped by our consciousness. Perhaps these feelings of timeline shifts, that feeling that something is off, aren't signs of madness, but rather the activation of your higher awareness, a sign you are at the beginning of a journey of profound awakening and self-discovery, an unveiling of your true potential. So, if reality is indeed a construct, as we have begun to explore, then what does that truly mean for your day-to-day experience, and how can you use that to consciously create? It means that what you perceive as out there, the external world, is in a very real sense a reflection of what is in here, your internal landscape of beliefs, expectations, and emotions. This isn't just a philosophical concept, but the very mechanism that underlies how you experience reality. This is the core tenet of subjective idealism, the idea that the external world is not independent of consciousness, but a manifestation of it. To understand this, consider the placebo effect. A person given a sugar pill, believing it to be medicine, can experience genuine physiological healing. Conversely, the nocebo effect demonstrates how negative beliefs can manifest as physical illness. These are not merely psychological quirks, but tangible demonstrations of how powerfully your beliefs can shape your physical reality, proving that your mind is the alchemist of your experience. The implications of this are profound, and this is not limited to individual experiences. The beliefs held by groups of people also manifest as collective realities. Consider how shared narratives can shape entire cultures, how collective beliefs around economics, politics, and even history can profoundly impact the course of nations. If collective beliefs can shape global events, imagine the implications for our future. What we hold to be true, either individually or as a collective, becomes the very blueprint of our shared reality. The key, then, is to understand that these beliefs are not immutable facts. They are the source code of our experiences, and if you can change the code, you can change your life. But this begs the question: if reality is a construct, who or what is the architect, and what is the ultimate purpose of this elaborate design? Moving beyond the notion of a fixed, linear timeline, let's dive into the idea of multiple timelines, not as an abstract concept, but as a fluid, ever-changing possibility. Think of it like a coin toss. Each time you flip a coin, there are two potential outcomes, heads or tails, each outcome representing a branch, a different possibility. Now imagine that on an infinite scale, where every choice, every decision creates another branch, a new possibility, a new timeline, each one existing simultaneously. This isn't just a theoretical exercise, it's deeply connected with the very fabric of quantum reality. The observer effect, in quantum physics, highlights that the act of observation itself influences the behavior of particles, shifting probabilities of different outcomes. This isn't just in a lab, it means that your awareness has the power to shift the probability of a timeline you inhabit. This also means that the past isn't a fixed event, set in stone. The past is constantly being rewritten by your present state of awareness and the choices you make right now. The implications of this are staggering. Every single moment holds the potential to alter your entire past, as well as your future. If we are continually branching into new realities based on our choices, then it's reasonable to believe we can slip between these realities with each choice we make. Perhaps you've heard stories of time slips, someone who has seemingly jumped from one moment to another, such as a person experiencing a familiar place with subtle but significant differences. What if these experiences weren't merely glitches in perception, but glimpses into the shifting nature of timelines? If you are witnessing this shifting, it means that you are influencing it. This leads us to the role of those of you who may identify as the chosen ones. You are not merely passive recipients of this knowledge. You are active participants, individuals with a heightened sensitivity to the interconnectedness of these timelines and the ability to influence their shifts. It isn't that you were divinely selected, but rather that you have activated a deeper level of awareness inherent within you. This heightened awareness may manifest as that nagging feeling that something is off, that a disconnect exists between your inner sense of reality and the accepted version presented by the mainstream. Perhaps it's a sensation of living in two worlds at once, the one that you know in your heart is true, and the one that appears to be accepted as the only truth. Think of it like being able to detect a subtle change in the weather, a shift in the barometric pressure that others don't notice. You are more attuned to the subtleties, the nuances, and the almost imperceptible shifts that weave together the fabric of reality. You might find yourself suddenly remembering a past event differently from those around you, as if your memory is pulling from a slightly different timeline. Perhaps you are sensing these shifts because your consciousness is more active and aware. and it is your increased sensitivity that allows you to witness the fluid and ever-changing nature of reality in real time. This heightened awareness isn't just a gift, but it carries a responsibility to understand and shape the timelines you are creating. So, in what practical ways might you experience these timeline shifts? It's not always going to be some dramatic, obvious event, but more like subtle hints, glimpses that invite you to question the nature of what you perceive as real. Déjà vu, that strange sense of having already experienced the present moment, could be more than a quirk of the brain. It could be a bleed-through of another timeline, a fleeting echo of a different possibility that you once inhabited. Perhaps you've had the peculiar sensation that something has changed in the recent past, a subtle shift in your memory or the world around you, a feeling that the past is not quite what it used to be. Maybe you know someone who has reported time jumps or slips, a sudden change of environment or location that seems impossible. These aren't just weird phenomena, but rather clues, breadcrumbs that reveal the fluid nature of reality, pointing towards the existence of multiple timelines. You might find yourself suddenly changing your mind on a decision, perhaps a purchase, only to find that the previously available item is no longer in stock. What if this is not a coincidence, but instead a practical example of how a change of intention has shifted the probability of that timeline? These seemingly random occurrences are not just glitches in the matrix, but signposts indicating changes in consciousness. And the more you pay attention to it, the more you realize that you can recognize a shift happening the very moment you focus on it, or decide to take a different path. Now, let's shift your perspective to the idea that you are not merely a passive observer, but an active co-creator of these timelines. This is not just a theoretical concept, but a practical reality, where each and every one of your actions has a far greater impact than you might have imagined. Think of the butterfly effect. A small action, like a butterfly flapping its wings, can cause a hurricane on the other side of the world. Similarly, your choices, your intentions, your state of awareness are not merely limited to your individual experience, but they ripple out, shaping and shifting the very fabric of the timelines you inhabit. Your choices don't just affect your life, they shift the collective timeline. Every thought, every feeling, every action has the power to contribute to this, either consciously or unconsciously. A seemingly small act of kindness can have a ripple effect that spreads far beyond your immediate awareness, just as a thought filled with anger can cast a shadow on the collective consciousness. The power to create, to shape reality, lies within you, and you are the director of your own film. You are not just a passenger in your reality, you are the co-creator. You have the power to change the course of your life and that of the timelines you inhabit, since you are the one creating it. Intention is the catalyst for changing timelines, and your awareness is the key to conscious creation. This brings us to the core, understanding that these individual shifts are actually part of a larger collective shift in consciousness. The experiences of timelines shifting aren't just your isolated experiences. They are a symptom of a profound change taking place on a global scale. Imagine that when enough people become aware of their power to shape reality, that awareness itself accelerates the shift towards a desired timeline, that there is a timeline, a high probability pathway, that has a better outcome for humanity, and that we are all shifting towards it together. It's not just your personal timeline that is shifting, but all of them at once. It's the collective experience of waking up, a sense of shared remembrance that we are more than just limited individuals, that we are powerful co-creators of our reality. And what's most important to understand is that you, as an individual, play a critical role in this collective shift, that you are a lever that can initiate large-scale change through your consciousness and by shifting your own state of being. If we are all co-creating, then how can we consciously do it in a positive way? So let's bring it all together. That sensation of shifting timelines, the feeling that something is different, isn't a sign of a glitch in reality or some external force at play. but rather a direct indication of your own increased awareness, the very signal that you are stepping into your role as a conscious co-creator of your experience and your influence on the collective timeline. That initial feeling of disorientation, that sense that something is off, is not a problem, but instead the activation of your true awareness, a sign of your awakening to a deeper level of reality. The mystery isn't what's happening to me, but what am I creating? The architect of your experience is your own consciousness, and the purpose is to explore the full potential of your own creative power. You are not a victim of shifting timelines. You are the one shifting them. Perhaps you've noticed how your intentions, once crystal clear, manifest with a new speed and precision, as if the very fabric of reality is responding to your conscious choices. Think about a moment when you made a decision and the world around you seemed to change in response. It is you that's doing the shifting. It's as if you are becoming lucid within the dream and beginning to realize that you are the dreamer. This new understanding shifts your entire perspective on everything. Your past isn't a fixed and unchangeable set of events, but a fluid narrative that can be rewritten through your current state of awareness and your present choices. The future isn't a predetermined path, but a tapestry of possibilities you are actively weaving. Those who might be called chosen ones are simply those with heightened awareness of the underlying mechanics of reality and a sensitivity to subtle shifts in the timelines. They are the ones who are waking up to their true potential, the ones who are recognizing the deeper reality behind the veil. Those feelings of time shifts aren't arbitrary, but a direct feedback system to your own level of consciousness, a clear indication that you are on the path of awakening. In quantum physics, the observer effect demonstrates how observation influences the behavior of particles, proving that the very act of observing something can change its probabilities. Your actions, intentions, and state of consciousness directly impact the collective timeline and also the personal experience of those around you. Awareness and intention are the key levers for change, not just for you, but also for the world. Your sense of meaning is no longer tied to a fixed and static reality, but instead it exists within a dynamic, ever-evolving universe that you are a vital part of. So the question is, what can I do about it? The first step is to become consciously aware of your own power by practicing a simple reality check. Take a moment right now, stop and ask yourself, is this real? Look around you, look at the details and ask, how do I know this is real and not just a dream? This simple act of questioning will enhance your awareness of subtle inconsistencies, the slight shifts in details that signal a shift in timelines. Next, take a moment to consciously rewrite a past event in your mind. Choose a limiting memory that you hold, and for just 1 minute, visualize a new outcome, changing the details and the feelings, and feel the shift as you give the memory new life. Notice how your emotions change as you change the memory. This is your power at play. Finally, choose a single, powerful mantra that resonates with you, such as, I am the creator of my reality, or I choose my timeline. Repeat it several times a day, and notice how it changes your state of being, as if you are stepping into a new version of yourself and your reality. Take time to journal. Write down the specific times and dates when you have noticed a shift in timelines, what happened and how you felt, and look for any patterns or connections. Remember, you aren't just witnessing this, you are influencing it, and the power to consciously shape your timeline resides in your intent and consistent awareness. This is because reality is projected from your consciousness, and as such, you have the power to rewrite your own story. This isn't the end of your journey, but the beginning of a deeper exploration into the nature of consciousness and the fluid nature of reality. As you become more adept at navigating timelines and consciously choosing your path, your ability to manifest your desired reality will expand beyond your imagination. The more you consciously choose a positive and expansive timeline for yourself, the more you are contributing to a positive shift for the collective, a change that ripples out to the entire world. This is the true meaning of being chosen, that the power to create a better world lies within each individual, not in a select few. If you are experiencing these timeline shifts, it means that you are at the leading edge of this change, and that your own journey is contributing to the larger awakening. It's a call to action, a challenge to explore the infinite possibilities that lie within you. You can begin by subscribing to this channel and joining our community of people who are actively exploring these concepts, sharing their experiences, and supporting each other. We will continue to provide resources such as guided meditations and reading lists that will help you navigate your own journey of awakening. Remember, the power is not somewhere out there. It's right here, right now, within you. As you step into this new understanding, ask yourself, what reality will you choose to create today? The choice, as always, is yours. I am so grateful that you chose to explore this deeper truth with me, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you.